On a global level, what we're increasingly seeing, now that we're a few years beyond the global economic crisis, is really a two-tiered growth environment. So in more developed markets, Western Europe, North America, traffic growth is fairly slow. In some cases, it's actually moving backwards. So in these cases, for food service operators, growing sales is actually a matter of taking traffic from other operators. So what we're seeing is much more of a drive to be relevant across the widest range of occasions possible, whether that's breakfast, lunch, snacking. That can cut across formats as well. So we have fast food chains looking to fill more of that informal full-service dining space, full-service restaurants looking to provide more of a takeaway element in some cases, just that continued search for relevance. Well, beverages play a pretty major role in this across both developed markets and emerging markets, because in both cases it's really kind of a search for versatility, a search for relevance. So if we look at more developed markets where the key priority in terms of growth is fulfilling as many eating occasions as possible, having relevance across as many eating occasions as possible, we can see beverages serve that purpose in a lot of ways. So if you want to make a splash at breakfast time, obviously coffee is going to play a big role in that. Likewise, any push into things like late night, that's going to be helped quite a bit by having a compelling beverage portfolio there. Likewise for things like snacking, we're seeing a lot more of what we might call destination beverages. A chain like a McDonald's, a large part of their strategy for reaching these occasions is through beverages. So you see more indulgent things like sweet tea or smoothies. The archetypal example, I guess, would be the Starbucks and their Frappuccino. Another key to this attempt to appeal to the broadest range of occasions is effective differentiation. So the idea that you can create a compelling, differentiated experience within your brand can be helped a great deal in the beverage space, not just by having relevant beverages relevant to a day part, but also having a real portfolio of beverages that sets you apart. In emerging markets, talking about places like China, India, Brazil, and even sub-Saharan Africa, places like that, it's a very different environment. But it's increasingly growth across a much wider range of consumers. So rather than appealing simply, say, to a relatively narrow group of high-income consumers in big cities, we're seeing the largest chains increasingly expanding into smaller second-tier cities, rural areas, where you have really a huge pool of consumers who still might be a bit constrained in terms of price points. As the chain is expanding into more rural areas, more second-tier cities, there's a certain amount of consumer education that's going on there. So a wider range of consumers that might be unfamiliar with a global fast food chain might need a bit of prodding. Beverages can go a long way towards localizing the menu. You've long been able to get soy milk at KFC outlets in China, to use one example. In more emerging markets, beverages can offer a way to reach lower price points that are more accessible to a broader range of the population without necessarily sacrificing margins. So you can have more indulgent beverages like slushes or iced beverages, iced coffees that are much more broadly affordable for a wider range of the population, but still carry a good margin.